Modeling with acne. Is it possible? Today on the podcast, we have Kelly Mulvihill. Kelly is signed to reputable agencies and has been able to work for brands like L'Oreal, Macy's, BareMinerals, Olay, among others, all while battling with acne. We get personal with Kelly and we ask her questions about how she felt about her own skin, what it was like to go see agencies, go to castings and shoots, and what she did to feel more confident in her own skin. So if you battle with your skin, this one's for you. All right, welcome, Kelly. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yo, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm really excited to have you on here and ask you questions about your story with modeling. But for people that don't know who you are and stuff, we met doing a commercial for T-Mobile with one of my favorites, Latino artists, J Balvin. And if anybody doesn't know who he is, he's a really, really big person on Latin music and even on mainstream music now, and we were really excited to shoot with him. And then I remember that for people that don't know me that well, I'm actually a very shy person and I'm an introvert. So I remember I walked in this room, there were so many people there, and you said something to me or I asked something and I looked at you and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty and she looks so cool. And then we ended up sitting together during the entire shoot that lasted hours. We were there was it
we were there till really late, dancing to that what's the song?
It was Machuca
over and over and over and over, and then I still listen to it in the car.
Yeah, whenever time that song comes on, it just brings me back to that show.
I know.
Yeah,
hours.
But we were there for was it 12 hours or 10 hours?
Then this random factory in New Jersey.
Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, and I remember we bonded over body image issues and stuff because we were talking about jean size. But yeah, so I obviously you have been a blessing in my life, because I love you and I appreciate your friendship so much, but also because I met you at the time where I was just starting modeling, and I believe you were just starting modeling too, seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
I was starting modeling seriously. I had been modeling before, and at the time I didn't have any close model friends, so it was modeling is so lonely and it's so hard to find people that can relate to your struggles. So I finally met someone that I could talk to and tell them oh my god, I'm not getting booked or I'm not getting signed and things like that, and you'll be oh yeah, it happens and it's okay, so I want people to know it's a good friend of mine you've been. And yeah, so anyways, one of my most common questions that I get asked with modeling is that, can you model with acne? And I know that you have suffered with acne in the past, so I really wanted to have you on here to talk about the subject. I have a ton of questions for you, and mostly because even though sometimes on my TikToks and my Instagrams I talk about Taylor Hill, which she's a Victoria's Secret model, had acne, or Kendall Jenner, girls still don't relate to them because I feel maybe they think oh, they're already so famous, it doesn't really matter that they had acne, so I think your story will hopefully help girls be able to work through it and hopefully modeling a try. So to start, when was when did you started having issues with your skin? How old were you?
Okay, so I kind of had the opposite journey with acne as everyone else, which was really annoying at the time because as a teenager, super clear, ready to go, took it for granted. All my friends were having struggles because of hormones and stuff. And I was I'm just going to walk around and have very clear skin. But then when I became a young adult, probably 21 to 22, I feel I had a hormone shift or something was going on. I was also using makeup that was really bad for my skin, which is a whole nother issue. But I started getting these really intense bumps under my skin that were not only really painful, but for me, I felt they were really embarrassing. So I was I don't know how to cover these. Should I cover them? Do they look worse? And just waking up every morning and wondering how many more mountains on my face were going to be there. I was like, okay, it's going to be 5 today. Is it going to be 0 today? It was never 0. Yeah. But yeah, and it felt like anything I tried,
it didn't work. Yeah.
Either made it worse or like just kept it the same.
Everybody usually struggles with it in their teenage years. Not when you're like,
when you get to college, it's fine. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm just hitting puberty right now.
Yeah. And did you ever find out what type of acne did you have, for people to like visualize how bad it was, or like? Oh,
it was like pretty bad, to the point where like, before I tried what finally worked for me, I was seriously researching Accutane, which is like a really intense drug if you don't know, and it's kind of the last resort for a lot of people with bad acne. And it wasn't just like normal acne, it was like cystic, like under the skin, like painful. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Hard to cover with makeup. And like when I would do like masks and stuff, like some parts would be patchy, and I'm very fair, as you can see. So you can see when stuff is happening on my skin. It's not like camouflage or anything like that. So
yeah, I mean, it's crazy how like, I mean, totally like yes to that. But it's crazy because when I met you, and then when I've seen other people with like acne, I don't even think about the acne. Like, I don't even see it, you know, because
it's so funny because that's like all you think people are thinking about.
Yeah.
But, like, they're thinking about their own stuff that they think you're thinking about, and everyone's just like in their head.
Yeah. Because when I met you, I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, you know, and I never thought, and I never like really thought like, oh, she has skin issues, you know? And when I was like, because I was very insecure about my own body too. So when I saw you, I was like, oh, this girl, she has so good. Like, she has red hair. So I was like, so she's like so unique, and she's 5'8.5", so she's like tall, like she has it so good. And I never really thought like, oh my gosh, she's battling with acne. Like, she's probably struggling with that part. Maybe she's not booking jobs, or, you know, things like that. It never crossed my mind until like later on that I realized, oh, she has acne. But I hadn't even like thought about it. I was just like, oh, she has it so good because she's unique and she's tall. So, you know, so yeah.
Everyone has their own stuff that they're going through.
Exactly. And so when you were modeling and having acne at the same time, did it ever cross your mind that you couldn't model because of it?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like beauty related castings where the camera is literally right here. I was like, they're never going to book me, because why would they book me over somebody who has like perfect canvas? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But even like before, like when you thought of like, I want to model, when you started, did it ever cross your mind like, oh, they're not going to sign me because I have acne, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It was a big insecurity, like among other insecurities, you know, when you're putting your body and the way you look out on display, especially if you've had issues with it in the past, immediately everything floods to the front, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, here's all the reasons why it could possibly not work.
Yeah. So
that was definitely one of them.
Sorry. So what helped you push through that and be like, okay, I have this. I'm very, very insecure. I think that people are not going to like me because of it. What helped you be like, you know what? I'm still going to try.
I think same with acting too, just for everybody who's listening, I'm like, do acting as well. That's like primarily what I do too. But like, I felt like if I didn't at least try, I would always regret it. And that it's not my job to say no. It's the agency's job to like say, no, thank you. Or the client's job. Like, you never know what they're looking for. And also like, I'm also a graphic designer. I do a lot of things. And I know the power of Photoshop for skin. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal to just get rid of a pimple somewhere. Like, even people who don't have acne get pimples because you're putting so much makeup on your face as a model and an actor. Yeah. So, like, I was just like, you know what? If that's going to be the reason, then maybe I don't even want to be in this industry anyway, because, like, what the heck, that's fucked up. But
but for sure. Yeah, no, and I love that because it's true. Yeah, it's like the other, and I love what you said, like it's the other person's job to tell you no, not you. And I think that's what people need to understand when they're thinking like, oh, what if they reject me, or what did they say no? Like, you have to let them, because if not, you're never gonna maybe get that yes, you know?
Exactly. And like, you can't read other people's minds. Just like you think, like I would have thought when you saw me that day, that you would have been like, wow, her skin is horrible. But like literally you didn't.
It did
so
not.
You can't assume what other people are thinking or looking for, whatever.
Exactly. So what type of modeling jobs have you been able to book with your acne?
A lot of different kinds, which was a very nice surprise for me. I do mainly commercial, beauty, and like lifestyle, I guess you could call it, like food stuff, like stuff like that. I'm not really a fashion model. I have done it before. I've done some editorial. But yeah, my agencies are mostly commercial. So I've actually done specifically with acne. I was cast for BareMinerals for a campaign because of my acne, because they wanted to show like a before and after. Which like they were literally, I see all the time also in breakdowns, like looking for models with acne. And right now, like I don't really struggle anymore that badly. So I'm like, dang, like, should I just stop using my face cream so I can apply to this job?
Yeah.
And, like, because they're really well paying. They're very high profile jobs with awesome brands, because a lot of, especially beauty brands, want to appeal to the consumer that wants to wear makeup and cover up, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like people with acne buy makeup, you know.
Exactly. Mostly people with acne, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's smart for brands to like use models that struggle with that.
Yeah, yeah. And I see it all the time too. I literally read it and I'm just like, well, I don't have acne. But yeah.
I do have this pimple right here. Does this count?
I'm considering. I'm just like, well, I do have a pimple. But no, I do see a lot with beauty brands. But what other jobs, just people have a better idea of like the opportunities that are out there?
For acne in particular, or just in general?
Just in general, you know, just like, despite the fact that you had acne, you still booked this and this and this.
I've done like over 150 commercials at this point. I've worked for brands like McDonald's in France.
Awesome.
Well, here. I worked for, I have a list somewhere, BareMinerals. I did Women's Health. I did.
There was one with like Fossil, I think it was.
Oh yeah, I did a Fossil campaign.
Yeah.
She knows better than me because there's just so much is going on. So like, it really didn't.
There was you also did one for L'Oreal too.
Oh yeah, I did a hair campaign for L'Oreal. Yeah. I'm like tempted to bring up my list, but. Because it's so bad when people ask me, I'm like, McDonald's? I don't know. For some reason, that's the one that comes to mind.
I know, but yeah, I mean, you were mentioned like BareMinerals, L'Oreal, Women's Health, Fossil. You did one with Maybelline too, right?
Yeah, I was in with Emily D. Donato.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love her. Yeah, so amazing. Love his stuff. So with the agents that you've had, like now in the past, agents that you've seen, maybe they haven't signed you, but you saw them. Have they ever commented on it in a negative way? Have they ever told you like, oh, you need to clear it up before?
No, actually, which is really surprising. But then again, I don't really do fashion modeling, but they never really commented. I've only gotten one comment before on something about my physical appearance from an agent. And it was actually from an acting agent, which is really funny.
Because it's like you wouldn't expect it that way.
Yeah. And it's like, wait, what? After like I did my auditions and stuff. But no, they never really commented on my skin. And I feel like if they were to, it would mostly be like, like maybe like whatever. Yeah. People struggle. Like people struggle with it. It's very common.
Yeah, so, exactly. And like,
it takes a while to figure out what works for you too. And it's not like people with acne usually don't want it. So they're actively trying things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not.
Yeah. It's great to hear that, because I did see, it was a model that made this TikTok, and she was saying how she went to an agency and the agent was like so mean to her about her acne. And she was saying how like, ooh, honey, like you need to clear that up first before you even like walk into the door. And gladly this girl still kept trying, and she eventually got signed to another agency. But it's really nice to hear that you had acne. It was really bad. It was cystic acne. And nobody ever commented on it, and you got signed to these great agencies. And
yeah, totally. It's just like, I think good agents and agencies see behind the acne, you know what I mean? Just like a person would, just like you saw me and you're like, oh wow, like she's really unique look. Like that's what the agents probably thought, and they saw money, which is ultimately like what they want to make, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
and
for sure.
There's no point of telling, like acne isn't like a permanent state in your life. Like it'll get better. So for them to like deny you and like also deny themselves the opportunity to make some sweet cash, like it's just not smart, like a business decision, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I know that you mentioned that you knew that Photoshop exists, and that's why you see so much clear skin on like
totally
magazines and ads, things like that.
Oh yeah.
And you also are an actress, and I would assume that when you're acting, you don't have that much like Photoshop. There's no Photoshop in like video and like movies and things like that. So has that ever made you feel some type of way? Has that ever become like a different struggle for you, knowing that with acting there's no like Photoshop?
Totally. Yeah. I think I was more insecure actually about acting than modeling, because a lot of modeling is print work, right? So it's static and they edit it and that's it. Yeah. Like on my Instagram, I would always be so self-conscious to post videos where it was like close to my face for acting, even though like that's ultimately like my goal is I want to be like a full-time actor.
Yeah.
I would only post modeling photos because I'm like, I can edit them. They can edit them. Like no one has to see my skin. But first of all, I just want to say that your acne is usually never as bad as you think it is. You know what I mean? Because when you look in a mirror, everything's magnified a lot of the time, especially if it's an insecurity of yours. Like you see it and it's like a clown mirror in a fun house. So when I would see it on TV, sometimes I'd be like, oh wow, I hardly even like, yeah, you could see it, but like, it wasn't that big a deal. And like, usually that's a makeup artist's job, is to literally like
help you cover it up,
make things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like your job is to just act. And also like, I don't know, I still booked acting gigs with it. I still did, because I don't know. And at the end of the day, they want the person that's best for the part. Yeah. And like, if you're portraying people have acne. Yeah. So maybe my character has acne too. Like, yeah, for sure. I don't know. And sometimes I know like the Bo Burnham movie, you probably haven't seen it. It's not your style, but like, it was about like a teenage girl going through like puberty, and like she had acne the entire movie, I remember, and me seeing it and being like, wow, like not covered up, but that's because that was part of the character. Yeah. Because when you're at that age and like you feel awkward, and like they were trying to highlight that like you have acne, like if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. Because I was in the theater and it was like on the huge screen, and she's freaking so famous now. And I was like, wow, like that's so awesome. Yeah, exactly. So, like, and it's the same, like we've said before with modeling, it's like, people have acne, so you have to show it on the ads and also on like on the movies. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You have to relate to the model or the actress, you know, because they're people like you to sell something. So, it goes to show that you shouldn't like stop yourself because, oh, I have acne, I'm imperfect, I have this flaw. Now it's just like, oh, I have this, I'll work with it, you know? Yeah, exactly. And just like I said, you can book jobs because you have it. Yeah. So with your modeling career, have you had the chance to work with other models that have acne, or have you seen them represented by other agencies? And you're like, you like, for example, you go to a casting and you notice, oh, that girl also has acne. Have you like seen that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Especially, like I said, the BareMinerals shoot that I booked, it was all girls with acne. Aww. Of all different, it was like the perfect, like, little like confidence boost, you know what I mean? Because it was for a product that they were releasing. Because, you know, BareMinerals is all like clear, clean,
nice
like,
skin
stuff for your skin. So they did before and afters, and they had like maybe 5 girls, and I was obviously the light skin tone, but they had like the different skin tones come in and do the before and after with the acne. So yeah, I still follow some of them on Instagram.
Oh, that's nice.
They've struggled and they've done a bunch of stuff, and like sometimes we'll DM and be like, hey, like, where'd you get that facial from? You know what I mean? Your skin looks great. So, but different things work for different people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's awesome because, like I said, like when I try to look for it, it's so hard to find because usually, like, if you have it, you're not going to be showing it.
Exactly.
And,
especially in this industry. So.
Yeah, and like, and if you find your portfolio on an agency or whatever, you're not going to see it because it has been edited. So it's really hard. Like, for example, if I didn't know you, like, personally, I would have never imagined that you had acne, aside from the fact that you talked about it a little bit on your Instagram. But other than that, I would have never imagined because I can't see it on your photos. So it's really hard for me, like, show examples of like, oh yeah, this model has acne and stuff, because usually girls are not showing it because obviously it's an insecurity. You don't want to show it. So it's nice for you to tell everyone to be like, no, there's models signed and working who have acne. Like, it's normal, common. Like, I see it, you know?
And if you see those before and after pictures, not even just acne, just skin issues in general, like I have laugh lines because I'm always laughing, if you couldn't tell by the majority of this interview. Like skin discoloration, different textures of your skin. Because if you're literally in a camera like this, you gonna see everything. Yeah. And nobody's skin is perfect. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. And it's just what it is.
Exactly. So how have you been able to clear your skin? What did you do?
Glad you asked. Well, so I feel like I'm doing my Instagram spiel right now, but this is very real and it really worked for me. Yeah. I was about to go on Accutane and go to the dermatologist. I had been to the dermatologist so many times already, trying different things. And, you know, like sometimes it'll make it worse before it makes it better. But for me, it kept just making it worse. I tried changing the shower head in my shower because I thought the water was somehow affecting it. I was so desperate at that point.
I bet,
Tons of facials. I was just like, I don't want this anymore. And I saw this ad for Curology, which is like an online subscription service for where they connect you with a dermatology provider. I'm very careful about the language I use because I did an Instagram promotion with them. But the reason why I even did that promotion is because I reached out to them after using their product because, as you can see, I do have some makeup on, but like, come on. Yeah. That's pretty. If you see my before and afters, it's like, amazing. And literally I never had to step foot. That was part of the draw for me, was that I never had to step foot in the dermatology office because it was just all online. And I just sent pictures of myself, like completely unedited, which was kind of therapeutic in a way. Because I was like, if I just take like the worst picture of myself, like she'll give me the best stuff for me. So, because I was always trying to hide it in other pictures. And
this time it was like you really wanted to show everything so they can.
Yeah, totally. And then, I started using it, and it's literally just like one cream. To this day, I have it downstairs. When I start running out, I freak out because like I love it so much. And it's great. So if you guys want to try it, I have a code or a link actually for a free trial.
I can put it on the description box.
Yeah. So on my Instagram too, if you do my story about it, you just swipe up and you do it. But it doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it is like a customized system. And just know that if you have acne, I thought it was never going to get better for me. And it did. Yeah. So just keep trying things and be patient, and don't wait for your life to start until after your career to start until after your acne is gone, because you're wasting so much valuable time waiting.
Yeah. I love it. How long? So you say your acne started around like 2022. And then before you found out about Curology, how that was like 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah.
With acne.
No, well, 5 years in general. I think I was struggling, but like I wasn't modeling until a bit later. So I was like, my whole beginning of my career, I had acne.
Yeah. Yeah. So you started modeling at 25?
Kinda. Yeah, I think so. The timeline's all like blurry for me, but I was modeling for probably like 2 years with acne.
With acne, yeah. That's long. And that was when you started. So it's a great,
exactly.
Yeah. It didn't stop you or anything. So next time someone asks the question, can you model with acne? The answer is,
of course you can.
I love it. So I asked my followers to ask you questions about acne and stuff. So I'm going to ask, so somebody asked, should I discreetly wear concealer or not to a casting?
I love this question. And Andrea and I have gone to many castings that are no makeup castings.
Yeah, and I'm like, Kelly, you can't do that.
I'm like, so here's the thing about that. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It depends what they're looking for. Like if it's an acne casting, of course don't wear makeup because they want to see it. Mm-hmm. But I still wear a little bit to the point where like, honestly, it probably doesn't make functionally a difference, but it gives me a bit of like confidence, I guess. Yeah. But like, it's so little, you know what I mean? Where like, you can't even really tell that there's anything on. But if you just like, if it's going to make you feel a little bit better, they just want to see what your face really looks like. Right. Yeah. So if you have like this huge pimple here and you're like, if you just like dab something and like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like less colored.
Yeah.
For me, that's been fine. I've never gotten a comment, but sometimes at castings too, they will give you a makeup wipe and watch you remove your makeup in front of them.
Has it happened to you?
That's a little embarrassing.
Has that happened to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, please don't make me do this. Even though functionally I literally had nothing on. You know what I mean?
But they could sense, I guess, that you did have.
No, but like, for everybody.
Oh, everybody.
It's not like they saw me and they saw there was makeup. Like they'll give you one before you go in and they're like, okay, now everyone do this just in case, because they know how models are.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I did see, there was this live, I think I told you about this one. There was this live of this casting director and he was talking about how when they tell models to not wear makeup, he's like, don't wear makeup because he was like saying how like they hate that they really want to see like your true self, and then models come on with makeup on. So it's funny, you know, because I remember when we were going to castings together, and the casting said no makeup on, and I knew you were wearing a little bit of concealer. It's true, you can barely tell, and I was just like, Kelly, like they said no makeup, but it's just because I am so anxious about the stuff, you know. I'm like so worried all the time, so I'm just like, this is what they said, this is what we have to do. But I mean, you did what you had to do, and it worked for some of the castings and
like everyone has their own journey with what they're comfortable with. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. At that point, I wasn't comfortable. Like now, if there's no makeup casting, I'd probably still put a little bit like here. You know what I mean? But like it depends too, because if it was like we're looking for people with fine lines, wrinkles, whatever,
you
like,
obviously want to show
you want it, because then that's they're gonna book.
Whenever I get castings for dark circles, I literally try to tilt my head as much as possible so I can really, really see them.
Put some black hair, like, hey.
I'm just like, please lighting, make them shine.
Don't sleep for 2 days.
Literally, because I'm just like, I really want that casting, that booking. But yeah,
it's so funny.
All right, so the next question, is, do casting directors take this, like acne, as a serious turn off to hire you?
It depends. I mean, like turn off is a really strong word, because it's not any rejection for modeling is not personal. And with acting, it's not personal. It's not like you're dating someone. You're like, oh, that's a turn off.
Yeah.
It's literally like what the brand is looking for and what they're trying to sell, because it's business. So if they're trying to sell an acne product and you come in with cystic acne, they're going to love it.
Yeah.
If they're trying to sell, like, I don't know, a skin cream and they don't want to use makeup at all, which like never happens, and you have acne, they might be like, oh, maybe this isn't the best fit right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they might book you because it might be like, we really love like the shape of her face or like the color of her skin or whatever, and it would be a great fit. We'll just cover it up. So it just depends on But it is. But it's the same for anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like if you
even
had
like
dark
red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might come in and they might be like, oh, we're really looking for like a little Spanish, Hispanic girl named Andrea for this one. So sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's true.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, it is true. It can be with literally anything that the client is looking for. It can be like this, like the last podcast that I had was about tattoos. Like it involved tattoos and like piercings. And it's just like, yeah, some brands are going to love you because you have tattoos and piercings. And other brands don't want to work with you because you have tattoos and piercings because they just don't want that in their ad. And it's the same with
who their target demographic is, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And for some jobs, they're going to be like, you know what, we can work with your acne. And other times they're going to be like, you know what, like we're really looking for someone with like a more like clear skin. So we're going to skip it this time. So
yeah, and it's not like bad and they're not telling you it's wrong. You know what I mean? Because then tomorrow you'll go to a BareMinerals casting and they'll be like, yes, we were exactly looking for this.
Yeah, exactly. So. I love it. Yeah. So it says, the next question is, does it matter how bad your acne is?
How bad it is? I don't think so. I mean, it only matters for you because I know when it gets really bad, like it's very painful. It can be hard to sleep. Like that's why I would think it would matter. You know what I mean? And just because like the worse it is, like the harder it is to ignore for you as a person. In terms of like modeling, I mean, I don't think so. Like as long as you're like, if you're not healthy, no matter what, whether it's with your skin, your body, your mind, your emotions, like that sucks and you want to like get better. But like in terms of booking and whatever, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it goes with the last answer too.
Yeah, it really depends. It just depends like a case by case basis, and yeah, you should just want to be healthy.
Yeah. So the next question is, do you know how to get rid of acne marks?
Acne marks, so like
scarring,
hyperpigmentation, and all of scarring. So I still have a bit of scarring. There are some products like retinols that can help you get rid of it, but you should do your research because those can be really intense too. I know Curology. That's one of the when you're taking the quiz at first, they ask you like, "Oh, do you want to try to get rid of scarring?"
I might
it's
try.
Like, yeah.
The first scarring I do, like when I had like pimples and they dry out, they leave like this hyperpigmentation is like this like darker.
You have a little bump, or sometimes you have like little dips in your skin. Like for me, this is really where it was bad. So it's actually going away. But
nice. Yeah, no, mine's not like dips. It's literally like coloring, like
like a mark.
Yeah,
because you have like slightly darker skin than me. For me, it's like a dip in my skin, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's just basically like shedding away the outer layers of your skin. But I know like if you go to a dermatologist, they have some products they could potentially help you with or help you use. I know a lot of people have success with like laser, but that's really expensive.
I know a model that had really bad acne and she did laser to get rid of it, but I would assume it is expensive.
Oh yeah. I'm actually trying to work that Instagram, so maybe I can get some lasers up in here. But yeah, those are all options if that's something you're insecure about. But also makeup is great.
Yeah.
For that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can even see mine, honestly, but yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. I mean,
yeah, it's not a big deal.
Anything.
Okay, so next question is, if you booked a job, show up with acne, can they tell you to leave? Has it happened to you before?
That's a good question. No, because they usually have seen me, because that's the point of like a go see, you know what I mean? And no, that's never happened. And I don't think it would. And if it did, like, you don't want to work for that client anyway, because that's going to be a really
disrespect.
Yeah, like very disrespectful. You should never compromise like feeling safe, whether that's physically or emotionally on a set. Like if somebody's making you feel like that, it's like, okay, bye. Like I'll go do something else. Like I don't need to sit here and listen to this. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You don't want what doesn't want you.
Exactly. You don't want all of this. I'm gonna walk out the door.
Yeah. Yeah. So this technically you already answered it, but I'm just gonna ask it again. Are acne scars accepted, or can you be rejected by them?
Yeah, they're fine. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah, this thing you already answered it too. Is like, is it harder to get chosen if you have acne? Which is basically what you said about, like, it all depends what the client's looking for. So you shouldn't take it like personal, basically.
Yeah, it depends on the job, like anything else, like any other physical trait that you have for modeling.
And that is the exact same thing with, for example, if you're taking digitals to submit to agencies. Mm-hmm. Like, each agent is going to see you differently. Like, some agents are going to be like, oh, totally, we love her look, aside from the fact that she has acne. And other agents are going to be like, oh, you know what, she has acne, like, we might be not going with her, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It depends who they have on their roster. If they already have an acne model that looks like you, then they might not want that. Yeah, it all depends.
Yeah, love it. So we both have obviously battled with our insecurities and our body image issues. And I think that there's this confusion with people that haven't tried modeling already, which is, I feel like some girls think that you already have to be super confident in yourself and super pretty and think you're pretty enough to start modeling. And I think people don't realize that models are so insecure. And it's,
for sure. I feel like they're some of the most insecure people I've ever met in my life. The opposite.
Yeah, exactly. So what I want to tell people, I want them really to understand, is that you work with your insecurities. You know, you feel insecure about your skin, about your weight, your size, whatever it is. And despite that you're so insecure, you're not confident enough, you think people are going to judge you, all that stuff that's going on in your head, despite all of that, you still try and model. So
yeah, if you want to try, you want to do it, you're going to regret it if you don't try.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. Literally. And like you said, the reason why you started it was because you knew that if you didn't start, you were going to regret it in the future.
Yeah.
That's exactly the whole point of doing it despite being insecure, because you're going to be 60 and look back and be like, oh, damn, I was so young, so beautiful. I should have.
Yeah, exactly. I let my insecurities dictate the choices I made for myself. And that's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the last question that I want to ask you, and I ask all my guests, is what would you tell a girl, women, who think they're not pretty enough, thin enough, her skin isn't clear enough, she thinks her body's not good enough? What would you tell them if they thought that and they wanted to model?
I would tell them that that's not true. Everyone is very unique in their own way. And that, although that sounds like it's coming from a self-help book, it's still true. And it's a cliche. But that if you want to try to model, you should try. Because what is the worst that can happen? And that you are beautiful in your own way. It's true. And modeling especially wants unique looks. So what you think makes you ugly or whatever might be exactly what a top agency is looking for. So you never know unless you try.
Exactly. Amazing. Love it. Thank you so much, Kelly, for being on the podcast. Thank you so much for opening about your acne journey, issues, everything that you've gone through. Such a huge inspiration for people that are battling with acne and any other type of insecurity. So I'm going to leave the, what's it called again? The thing for
the Curology link.
The Curology link. On the description box. And you said, is it a discount code with it?
If you can get a free trial, just pay shipping and handling.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah,
I'm going to leave that in the description box. I'm also going to leave your Instagram handle so people can look you up and follow.
Yeah, do
it. So thank you so much again for being on the podcast. It was a pleasure to interview.
I love you. Thanks for having me.